Hi, okay, so this is my second YouTube video. I don't really still don't know what I'm doing, but I wrote out like a little guide this time, so we'll see if it goes any better. I'm at my house for spring break, so the scenery's changed a little bit, and obviously I don't have any makeup on, and I just left my hair down, so I know I kind of look like a rough mess, but I kind of like myself with no makeup. I think it's kind of natural and cool. Okay, so today I was going to talk about controlling relationships, or unhealthy relationships, I guess. I was just going to start with controlling relationships. I was personally in a controlling relationship for about a year. It was quite a while ago. It was a couple years ago, and it was really hard. It was something that really takes a toll on your self-esteem, and really it's painful all around. And I don't know how it is on the other side of being in a controlling relationship, if it gives you power or anything like that, but I do know how it is on the receiving side, and it's not fun. So a controlling relationship, usually it's not always the guy. Sometimes I've seen a lot of guys that are in controlling relationships, so I can't say that it's mostly guys controlling girls, because it can be any gender controlling any gender. And usually it's because one side is more afraid that they're going to get broken up with than the other side. Like, I was afraid 24/7 that he was going to break up with me, because he'd already made it clear that he didn't care if we broke up. So I really wanted to stay in that relationship, and so I did everything he said so I wouldn't have to be without him, which was, in retrospect, that was terrible. I shouldn't have let somebody tell me what to do like that, and it was a long time ago, and I've definitely learned from that. But you just need to watch out if it comes off sweet and nice when they're trying to kind of tell you what to do or what to eat. They're like, oh, I'm concerned about your health, so here, let me go through the buffet line and make your plate for you, or let me pick out your food for you, or let me go shopping for you, or something like that. And they'll try to make it come off sweet, like, oh, you don't need all that makeup, you look great without it, and things like that. But it'll be like, if you don't do it, then it'll kind of start an argument, or it'll make them unhappy, and so you do it. It's the same thing. They tell you, they get mad. They don't tell you, usually they don't say straight up, you can't do this. Most of the time they'll use like scare tactics, almost. Like, that sounds bad, but they almost use scare tactics. Like, if you go to the club tonight, then I'm gonna do this, or I'm not gonna do this, or anything like that. And they'll kind of use that to keep you in line, almost like your parents. Like, if you go out tonight, you're going to be grounded for the next week. It's kind of the same thing. They'll be like, if you go to the club tonight, then we're not going to hang out Sunday, or we're not going to do this or that. And it's kind of like the same thing. So any kind of symptoms, and a lot of the times they'll do this, they won't do this straight up. It'll seem like sweet, like a jealous kind of boyfriend, like, oh, he just doesn't want me to get taken, or something like that. But it is dangerous to be. It'll really attack your self-esteem. It'll make you feel like if you don't have them, then you're not yourself, and that's wrong. You are yourself whether or not you're in a relationship with someone, and that's really important for girls to remember, and guys too, that just because you're not with somebody that you care about does not mean you're not a whole person, or you're just half of your other, that's your other half, or whatever. No, you are yourself regardless of who you're with. And you have to be a whole person by yourself before you can love somebody else in a relationship, if that makes any sense. You can't be two halves of a whole. You're both two whole people that care about each other. That's what a relationship is. And it's dangerous, just because you'll take big, especially if you're on the receiving end. And all of this is based on insecurity in the beginning, because the jealous person is the one that's doing all the controlling, and they're scared that you're going to leave them, or they're scared you're going to find somebody else. So they try to keep you under wraps and try to tell you everything you're going to do, because it's easier than letting you live your own life, apparently. And so you really got to watch out for that. And in that case, my parents saw that I was in a controlling relationship, and they kept trying to tell me, and I was in denial the whole time. I was like, he's a great boyfriend. He does all this stuff for me, and he's so nice to me, and he just wants the best for me. But in reality, he didn't really want the best for me. He just wanted the best for him. And I didn't find that out until later, and I didn't see all the symptoms until after we broke up, and then I was like, I was so stupid. The whole time I was so stupid. And cheating, if you've done this, I don't want to put you on blast, because I'm sure a lot of people have. I personally haven't ever cheated on someone, but that's a personal choice that I've made not to, I guess. I don't know how to put that, but I don't want to make anybody feel like I'm attacking you if you have, because I know there's complicated circumstances and things like that, but if you've been the cheater, you have to understand how you make us feel, because I've been cheated on before. And honestly, I really would have rather been broken up with than find out later that I was cheated on, because it's really hard for somebody to take that and just know that either it makes you feel like you weren't good enough or feel like I don't know, I can't explain it. But it's much better to break up with somebody than to cheat on somebody. I promise you. I would be 100% happier 100% of the time if people just do that. And I always try to live by my own suggestions. So usually cheating people and the insecurity with the controlling relationships go hand in hand. When I was in that relationship, I didn't find out until after that I was being cheated on. And a lot of the symptoms are they will start to become really jealous themselves, which is completely weird because they're cheating on you, but they start to want to check your phone all the time, have the password to your Facebook or Twitter. They start to want to figure out who you're talking to. They don't want you to talk to any guys or or have friends that are guys or hang out with any guys by yourself or sometimes even in a group. And the reason I think that they get so jealous is because they're getting away with the cheating, and they think that you could be too, because they've already gotten away with it and you never found out, and you probably never will. And the best way, I think, to deal with that is to ask straight up. And of course they can lie, and they might, since they already are, but if you just look somebody in the eye and talk to them about it, usually they'll come clean. That's what I've learned from all that, is usually they just give it up. But it's when you're being cheated on, the things you have to remember is you are definitely good enough for that person. Matter of fact, I guarantee you after you guys break up, he or she is going to come running back to you, begging for you to get back with them, because they didn't cheat out of you not being good enough, because otherwise they would have just broken up with you. They cheat because they want to have their cake and eat it too, and that's not okay. So I want anybody who's been cheated on just to remember that it's not your fault. You're not to blame. Even if you're having problems in the relationship, cheating isn't going to fix them. And so it wasn't your fault that somebody cheated, whether or not you guys were fighting or what the circumstance was. It wasn't okay. And you are perfect the way you are. So a little pep talk. But there's some other kinds of unhealthy relationships I'm just going to talk about a little bit, because there's millions, but I can't really classify them. I don't have a doctorate on anything in psychology, so I'm just going to talk about, from my personal experience, what I've seen. When there's one-sided happiness in a relationship, or it messes everything up. If one person is happy in that relationship and the other one isn't, or there's double-sided unhappiness and you've been together a long time and you're afraid to break up with them because they're pretty much all you know, and you're thinking, well, I've been with this person so long, I don't know how to break up with them. But at the same time, you're not happy. And you guys aren't the same as you used to be. You don't care about each other in the same way. And I just want to tell you that from personal experience, when you break up with somebody you really care about, it's hard. It's going to be hard on both ends, and it's really going to take a lot of courage. But you have to understand that if you're not happy in your current relationship, then nothing's going to make you happy again. You can't feel the same way you felt when you first started dating ever again. That's never going to happen. And you have to understand that when you get into it, you have to understand this is going to change for us. And that's a lot of the time why they suggest you marry after 4 years of dating, because after 4 years, it's proven that the way you feel about each other is going to change, whether it's for the better or for the worse. And I totally support that. I think that you should spend time together, and if things do change for the worst and you don't feel like you guys are going to get along like you used to, or stop arguing like you used to, or just be happy, then I think it's time to end it. And it's hard. It sucks. I'm going to be honest. It really sucks. But if it's something you feel like it's over and you both know it, then it's better to kind of rip the Band-Aid off. And young relationships. I know a lot of you don't want to hear what I'm going to say, because a lot of people I know are really young and are in what they think are serious relationships. But the reason this is a problem is because when you're 13, 14, 15, it's okay to date around and kind of figure out the kind of person that you want to be with and the kind of people that you are attracted to and the different traits that you think match up with your kind of traits. But I don't think you should start settling down when you're 13, 14, 15 because you still have all of your life to live. I mean, I'm 19, but I'm not going to settle down anytime soon. I'm not planning on getting married or anything until I'm like 30. I'm not interested in finding a serious relationship until then because I'm so young. I'm still learning what I like and who I want to be with, and I'm not ready to settle down and decide I have to live with one person for the rest of my life. That's kind of scary. It's scary to me, I guess. I don't know about anybody else, but I think that you should be careful, and when you think you're in love, just be careful that it's not that honeymoon stage where you guys are so happy together, and don't be careful that the love isn't just you being really happy with somebody else and really caring about somebody else, because there's a big difference between love and just being happy and having a really big crush on somebody. And you have to remember that when you break up, it's not the end of the world. You will always, always, always find another person. And I know from personal experience, it's hard when you're sitting there and you're like, he was the only one for me, and he was so perfect, and I'm never, ever going to find somebody like him. You won't find somebody like him, but you're going to probably find somebody better. So don't worry about when you break up. Don't take that self-esteem hit like I wasn't good enough. No, you were good enough. Trust me. He's going to realize his mistake and come back to you. But it's your choice whether or not you take him back. And I don't know if you should. If sometimes people just don't mesh up. And on that note, it's kind of a little bit but losing your virginity. A lot of girls are losing it really, really young, like 12, 13, and it upsets me when I see that kind of thing. I think it's something that you should, the way I think of it is, you have to make sure it's with somebody that if you two break up, you aren't going to be completely crushed and feel like you regret it. So before you do, think about it. Would I regret this if we broke up? And physical abuse is kind of a heavy topic, but rape within a relationship is possible. Just because you're dating doesn't mean you owe anybody anything. I want to say that. And just because somebody took you out doesn't mean you owe them anything. And physical abuse, you should always get help, because if you take action right away, right after, then it can be stopped. And you can take them to court, the whole shebang. So I don't want to talk too much about it because it's kind of a hard topic for a lot of people to think about or talk about. But help is always available. And if you feel like that's you, don't go back to that person, because they're going to try to say, oh, I'm so sorry, it will never, ever happen again. And they'll buy you flowers and chocolate and stuff like that. But it'll happen again. The way I feel is if somebody can do something once, they'll do something again. So if that happens, don't let them think that's okay. Don't take them back and give them another chance. So with that, I've pretty much said all I can say. I tried to rush through it because I didn't want to make you guys, well, it's 13 minutes again. I didn't want to make you guys sit through like 15 minutes of me talking. So just let me know, give me some comments. I'm still new to this, so I appreciate any kind of critique. So thanks.